So I don't know, to be honest, William, I don't know if the people of the United States are ready for tough love, the tough love that they need. Because right now they're not getting any kind of love, right?
I think, while you have a point there, we're at the precipice of a civil war, a national divorce of some sort. And whether it's, a civil war or a civil national divorce, not a war, or, I don't know how we can ever put the word civil behind war, but there we go.
Yeah.
War is the very exact opposite of civilization. It's the antithesis. But I think we have this moment where a former president is on his the first criminal trial of an ex-president. That's happening right now, and I think this might present an opportunity. And we're at a precipice with that. And I'm thinking out of the chaos can bear a new system. Dr. Shiva is a system scientist, but
Mm-hmm.
I want to break up the corporation of the United States into several kingdoms, republics, and democracies, because this is not working. You have half of the country and another half, and then you have fringes trying to force their values onto each other every single 4 years. To what end? It just all gets reversed on whichever opposite side of the uniparty wins. And I just feel in a system that where you really localize, you just slice the states into pieces like a pizza, and like a pizza for a elementary school classroom, and you're on a teacher's pay. You just something's got to give, and I don't think that just like the empires of the past, that this can maintain itself for too much longer, and not at all.
I'm not, I'm not really good at this. I just got this. Hmm. My student said, you need to get a graphics tablet. Well, I had never heard of a graphics tablet, so I got a graphics tablet, right? Now I got to teach myself how to use darn graphics tablet. So I got the graphics tablet. So now let's look at 1860s United States and 2024 United States. Is there a relationship with these people sitting around the table who were trying to destroy the United States then and who might be trying to destroy the United States as we know it now? I think there might be. I don't know the answer to the question, but I think there might be. And just as they were thwarted in one aspect, because they were thwarted in one way, and then they came back and said, okay, well, if we can't break you up, we'll just own you. And then that's how we got the Federal Reserve Act of 1913.
Oh, yes, that's
So,
definitely an aspect for sure. Oh, wow.
so I'm wondering, are we and the rest of the world better off if those people win? Or are we and the rest of the world worse off if those people win?
I think it depends on how much of the pizza they get. Now,
Right now, they have it all.
I know, and they intend to keep it that way.
And they intend to keep it that way. So if can have, they can have the whole pizza by making 8 slices. 8 slices will give them the whole pizza. And so is it easier for us to maintain a slice, or is it easier for us to maintain the whole? I don't know the answer to the question, but this is what I'm thinking. And I'm asking my students to think, is it ever advantageous for us to concede to the people sitting around the table?
I think you take a slice at a time. You deal with the cards that you're dealt, and you do your damnedest.
But see, what they've done is they divided the United States into 50 pieces, right? So let's just look at how the Israeli lobby came from nowhere to everywhere. And in Georgia now, they had this requirement for you to sign a loyalty oath in Georgia, and then Martin, the journalist, Abby, no, what was her name? What's her name?
Or wait, I mean, are you talking about Abby Martin?
The journalist, right?
Yeah.
Who filed the lawsuit against the state because she was offered an opportunity to come speak, and they said no. You can't come and speak until you can't get paid. You can come and speak, but you won't get paid until you sign this loyalty oath to Israel. This is state of Georgia now. Abby Martin, that's right. And she said, no, I'm not going to sign that. That what they did not want was for her to set what they wanted, those people sitting around the table who have now divided the United States into 50 slices, and they are eating every slice. It's like,
when I
so it's like, I don't know. I'm thinking with you out loud. I really, really don't have an answer, but I know that my knee-jerk response is that I never want to be in alignment with those people at the table.
Oh yeah, for sure. When I refer to these slices, like these 50 slices, they're not, I mean, they're hardly even slices. They're held together by that cheese crust filling called the federal government. And you see, that's kind of what I'm speaking about when I say that, I want to remove the federal government from the equation, is what I mean by making, by localizing every governance, and having the people actually govern themselves instead of this federal system.
I know, but you know what? That still doesn't get us out of the fact that 26 people sitting around this table of global social control all 50 slices of pizza.
What's your prediction then? What's your prediction? Just your educated guess on what would happen if Republican dominant areas and Democrat dominant areas, because those are the, unfortunately, the chief card players at the moment, Republican dominant areas and Democrat dominant areas forming their own federal governments, like what happened way back when, but in a modern context. What would you foresee as issues in that equation?
If we don't get rid of the 26 people around the table, it really doesn't matter. We need to eliminate the table, and we need to eliminate the 26 people around that table. And this, of course, is where I come to the idea of direct democracy, because it's a whole lot easier to control 535 plus whatever the number is for each state than it is to control 300 million. So it's just it's what I'm grappling with now, and so what do we really mean when we say whatever it is? What do we mean? We're going to take our country back. That's what people are saying now. We're going to take our country back. Well, how are you going to get it back from the 26 people sitting around the table. How are you going to get it?
Mm-hmm.
And if no one is in some room somewhere unpublicized discussing that issue, and I can guarantee you that the people sitting around the table, the 26 people sitting around the table, they are in a back room and they are contemplating ways in which we might come up with strategies to overthrow them, and then they will preempt our strategy because they've gained it and they've thought it out. So we got to do that, and we got to figure out a new way of fighting, and we got to, there's so many things, but you have been able to traverse the generations, and that is really remarkable. You, I think, are a remarkable young man. And so you have been able to traverse generations, racial divides, sexual divides. I mean, every kind of way they can think to divide, political spectrum divides. I mean, they got so many different ways to divide us, right? Because that has become a science unto itself as well. But if we don't figure this one out, then they are going to win. And you're right to refer to Dr. Shiva as a systems man, because what we're discussing is a system that has been put in place and that has almost become self-perpetuating, like the injections that they want to give people will be self-replicating. So, it's like a self-perpetuating system of complete oppression. And it's not that we can't fight it, because in the past, individuals like me and you were able to fight and win and beat them back. But they've always had a response to that. So now how can we not allow first we have to create the movement. I think Dr. Shiva is doing a good job of that. Then we have to make sure that our movement does not become co-opted. And that means that every one of us has to become a guardian of our movement.